this week we have a very special guest. His name is John Carter. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, bro, how are you, pal? Beautiful day here in Boston, Mass.
Welcome, welcome. John, before anything, you told me that you'd like to share your story with us.
Correct.
Please go ahead.
Bro, I was raised a very unconventional childhood. My father was in the mob, organized crime. And bro, I love my dad. He was my hero. He never missed a ball game. He was a great dad, and I loved him so much. So when he passed away, I wanted to wear his shoes, bro. I wanted to be like him.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not have his size. I was not cut out to be involved in crime. So immediately, I found myself in a world of trouble. This man, instead of paying me a gambling debt he owed, decided to attempt to murder me, and he shot me in the back of the head. And bro, in my story, being shot in the back of the head was the easy part, as my life spiraled out of control with all kinds of addictions, food, alcohol, drugs, and even a prison stay, bro.
Whoa. So your dad shot you?
No, my
No.
dad, my dad was in organized
Oh,
crime,
he was part of the. Okay. Who shot you
and
then?
when he died, I wanted to wear his shoes. I
Yeah.
wanted to be like him. And this man, instead of paying me a gambling debt he owed me, decided to try to attempt to murder me, and he shot me in the back of the head.
Whoa. Now I get it. That's insane. Well, they failed. Thanks God they failed.
He
So,
failed.
how, oh my God. Like, I cannot even imagine to wrap my head around that. So,
And bro, that was the easy part. As my life spiraled out of control, being shot was the easy part of my story.
I can't wait to hear it because you clearly you're surviving. You're making it through. So I want to hear it. Um, can you talk a little bit more about the shooting though, because that's the part you started with.
Sure. So when the man shot me, he shot me in the back of the head, and I went down. But bro, I was rushed to the hospital, and they saved my life. I entered a coma, and in my coma, it was one long dream. It was like I lived a whole life inside a coma. Remember, it was not a dream like you would have and be foggy. This was a very vivid, real dream. And this happened in 1992. I was shot December 15th, 1992. I remember this dream like it was last night. It was crazy. Bro, the whole midst of this dream was I was in a hospital and I was chained to the bed. And I was in the hospital with a bunch of people. I didn't know who they were. We were just and I didn't know what was wrong with me. And every day we had a swimming race. Remember, this is a dream.
Mm-hmm.
They got us out of bed and we got into the pool and we swam. And the winner of the race got to go home. Bro, and it hurt so bad to get out of bed and into the pool. And I kept losing and losing and losing. And this is the first time I ever said, I quit. I give up. I'm not getting out of this bed no more. I quit. Bro, this old man, who I don't know who it was, I have no recollection of him, that night sat on my bed and he said, John, you're not going to quit. I'm going to coach you. I'm going to train you, and we're going to win this race. Bro, he brought me down to the pool and he trained me all the time. So now it was the day of the big race. He gets me out of bed, gets me down to the pool, gives me a big pep talk, gets me all get up and fired up and ready to go. I remember swimming like a bat out of hell. I touched the wall, and I woke up. And I woke out of my coma. And now reality said that I was in a hospital. So that was my dream. Now, Brew, on top of the 3 months in the coma, I spent another 6 months in the hospital. So a total of 9 months. So now I get released from the hospital and I go home. And this is where depression really set in. In the hospital, my depression wasn't too bad because I was surrounded by a lot of people. Now I get to my apartment, I'm all alone, and I said, oh, my life is all messed up. Before I knew it, I started eating. I started drinking, and I started using drugs. Before I knew it, I was 330 pounds, sitting in a wheelchair with a bad cocaine problem. Drew, my life was messed up. But Drew, I could not afford this drug habit. I could not afford my lifestyle of doing drugs. So I decided to become a drug dealer, Brew.
Oh my God.
I just get shot in the head, and now my bright idea is to become a drug dealer.
John.
So I started dealing drugs. But Brew, the police did not find this too amusing. And boom, they kick in my door. 10 cops come rolling in. They find drugs, they find money, and they arrest me. And Brew, I thought I was dead. I thought I was being mugged. But then I heard the walkie-talkies, and I said to myself, wow, this is over. And I remember smiling and being delighted a little bit. And one of the cops looked at me and said, what is so funny here? You're in a lot of trouble. I said, sir, you just don't understand. This might be a very good thing for me because my life is out of control. So they arrest me and they bring me to jail. But I was able to make bail. So now I'm sitting in the parking lot of the police station, weighing 330 pounds, in a wheelchair, no drugs, no money, nowhere to go. I just thought it was over. My family friend who was with me said, you need to start with getting sober. And at that point in time, I didn't have too many options, bro. So I said, okay, take me to detox. He took me to detox. And after a week, my head started coming around. I started getting unfoggy. And I wanted to stay sober. And I had to go on to a halfway house. Because from detox, you go on to a halfway house. And this is where I had to be accepted to the halfway house. Now it's my day for the interview. I go to the halfway house. I roll into the office. I'm waiting for the executive director of the halfway house to interview me. And this is where my life changed. And I found somebody in my life that really knew where I was and was going to help me. So now I'm sitting there, and this woman comes walking. She's wobbling. I could see there was something wrong with her. She sits down and proceeds to tell me how she was in a cocaine coma and nearly lost her life. And this is 20 years ago. So this is back in 1992, and she was already sober for 20 years. I couldn't believe it. She was telling me how she was in a wheelchair for years, and now she got out of it. Boo, I was in awe. I was looking at this woman. I could not believe she got out of that wheelchair. The wheelchair was hell. And I could not believe she got out of it. Unbelievable. So this woman, her name was Deb, she brought me under her wing, and I listened to every word she said because she was glowing. She was full of happiness, and I wanted what she had. And I knew I needed to listen to what she was saying. But, Brew, I still had this court case hanging over my head. And now I've been in the halfway house for 7 months now. I've been sober for 7 months and in the halfway house. Now, Deb is taking me to court. I said to myself, I'm in a wheelchair. I'm with Deb. I have lots of sobriety. It's my first offense. This judge is going to have leniency on me, bro. I remember I rolled up in front of him, and he looked down at me, and he said, Mr. Carter, he said, we do not discriminate in this courtroom. You will get the same sentence any drug dealer in my county gets. Bro, he gave me 10 years. 10 years. And at the time, I was so mad and frustrated and hurt. But that all changed, and I'll get into it, because that became a positive thing for me. But at that time, I was so mad. I could not believe he was putting a guy in a wheelchair, first offense, in jail with mass murderers. Couldn't believe it. But anyways, Deb looks at me and she says, John, a lot of people in your shoes would run right now. Face your fears. You are not alone, and we will help you. So, Boo, her word was like God to me. So what did I do? Off to jail I went. I had no hesitation. The first day in jail, I thought I was a big tough guy. That big metal door slammed behind me, Boo. I was in a cell 6 by 6, like your bathroom, and I said, I got another 10